Hello, very good morning, students. Today again we are with our series of important extracts for explanation from Macbeth. For today, we have another explanation, another important passage from Act 2, Scene 2. Last time we did one extract and the explanation from the same scene. I have thought or I think that this scene is very important. That's why I have taken two abstracts from this only scene. This scene is after the murder of King Duncan, and we have come to know very well and understood in the previous explanation that Macbeth has killed King Duncan, and after having murdered the king, Macbeth is absolutely disturbed. He is not happy, his mind is perturbed, and he thinks over it again and again. He fears of the consequences that will follow this deed. So, let us see now what is there in this extract and the explanation or the meaning of these lines. The lines, the extract from this scene is, I recite the same words. My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Knocking within, I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire to our chamber. A little water will clear of this deed. How easy it then! Your constancy hath left you unattended. So, this is the extract we have from this scene. Now, let's see what is there and who has spoken these words and to whom and in which context. So, first of all, that this is from the scene second of Act 2 from Macbeth. These words or this dialogue has been spoken by Lady Macbeth to Macbeth. When Macbeth has murdered King Duncan, and after that he becomes restless. We know that after having murdered King Duncan, Macbeth is totally disturbed. He is fearing. So Lady Macbeth is not at all disturbed. Very soon Macbeth hears the noise that startles him. So Macbeth hears the different kind of noises after having committed the crime. Although the noises may not be real, but he is hearing because he is fearing inside. So he says to Lady Macbeth, repenting on the crime he has committed. So he wants to repent on the crime that he has committed. Then he looks at his hands first, which are stained with blood. So when he looks his hands, he says to Lady Macbeth that his hands will pluck out his eyes. It seems to him that his hands will pluck out his eyes. That is, looking at his hands, which are stained with the blood, Macbeth is totally perturbed. And then he also asks himself, looking at his hands, and what he says? He says that the water of all the oceans of the world will wash away this stain of blood from his hand. That is, he thinks that the whole water of the whole oceans of the world will not be able to remove or wash away the stain of blood which is on his hand. So he looks at his hand and fears and repents, saying all these things, that this blood cannot be removed. Even the water of all the oceans or the seas of the world is there or wants to wash away it. So we understand that Macbeth is very much perturbed. And then he says that instead of the water of all the oceans wash away this stain of blood from his hand, these hands or this blood will rather turn all the waters of the sea into crimson. That is, even the water of all the oceans will become red. So these hands which have the blood stain will never be removed by all the waters. Instead, they will turn the water into red. So this is the background before the dialogue or the passage we have taken for today. So this is what had happened after having murdered King Duncan, and how Macbeth reacts his crime, reacts his deed, how he repents. So when he is repenting in this way, Lady Macbeth then speaks, and the dialogue that we have for today is spoken by Lady Macbeth to Macbeth. When Macbeth is reacting in that way, he consoles her, even he condemns her attitude and reactions. And what she says, let us see how boldly, how courageously she handles Macbeth. Macbeth, who is about to mental, psychologically he is failed. But here, Lady Macbeth handles the situation, and he says to Macbeth, what she says? She says that he need not to worry about all these things, because her hands are also as blood stained as his. Her hands are also covering the stains of the blood. So here, when Lady Macbeth speaks this, that her hands are the same as his. So very important point, very important thing here, that we must know how her hands became red, or how her hands became stained with blood here, because she has not murdered King Duncan. Macbeth has murdered King Duncan. But here she says that her hands are also as blood stained as his. So we have to understand what happened to her, that her hands have the blood stains also. So here we must understand that after having murdered King Duncan, Macbeth comes back. But he forgot to keep the sword with the guard who were who were intoxicated by Lady Macbeth, who were at the service of King Duncan. So it was planned that after murdering the king, Macbeth had to put his weapon with the porters or with the guards. But he forgot because he confused. So it was Lady Macbeth who went back and put the sword with the guards. And when she took the sword, her hands also became as blood as stained as Macbeth's. Because we know that Macbeth refused to go back. He said that he will go no more there again. So it was Lady Macbeth who went back to do this act. So here this point is very important. Then what she says in these lines? She says that her husband's terror seems very silly to her. Her husband should not act like this way. And then she says, in spite of all this, she is ashamed to have a cowardly heart like her husband. She is ashamed of. And it is a shame thing for Macbeth to have such a fearful heart. And she will never have such a heart. Then she also hears a knocking at the south gate, but hearing the knocking at the south gate, she is not at all disturbed by that knocking, whereas Macbeth was disturbed. Then she suggests him that let's go to bed and don't think over it again and again. Whatever he has done, he must forget that. And he should go to bed. She also increased his courage by saying that a handful water will wash away all the signs of guilt from his hands. So let us wash our hands. Only a little water will wash away all these signs of guilt. So he must not fear at all, and he should go to uh, bed. She also tells that it's not very difficult because a little water will wash away everything and no one will come to know that they have committed this kind of deed. So here it seems that the firmness of his mind, the firmness of Macbeth's mind has totally deserted him. This is what Lady Macbeth thinks for him. And in this way, she consoles her husband not to think over it again. And he should also look very normal before others when he gets up in the morning. So he should not, because the face is a mirror and it reveals everything what is inside in our mind. So he must have a, a face that is the normal face which which will not tell anyone about the inside of the heart or about their deed. So he must remove the signs of fear from his face. So this is what we have the explanation of these lines. That is, we have to see the reaction of Macbeth as well as the reaction of Lady Macbeth over the crime. Macbeth psychologically failed, fears, whereas Lady Macbeth doesn't. So these lines show Lady Macbeth's character elements, which is totally opposite to that of Macbeth. Macbeth fears, he is seriously disturbed, weak in his mind and heart, but we see that Lady Macbeth seems to be bold and firm, and we would also appreciate her courage, her bravery, her boldness, how she handles Macbeth after this um, act. So it seems as if she doesn't have a heart of woman. So we also come to know that it seems that she has become a man in such a condition. She takes the murder as an ordinary or common incident. She doesn't take it very seriously. And what she says, we have seen that a little water will wash away the hands of Macbeth. So such a silly thing. She's taking everything as a normal, not seriously. And then we also come to understand that she says that they should not worry about the affair anymore. She never feels guilty like her husband. And then in these lines we also see that these lines are the best example of dramatic irony. Here we have the dramatic irony. Dramatic irony, how? Because when we go ahead in the play, or we can say that in Act 5, Scene 1, that is called sleepwalking scene. We will see and we will compare Lady Macbeth's own words. That is, these words which she is speaking here in this scene will be repeated by her in Act 5, Scene 1 in her dream. Not in real, but in her dream. That is, she will walk in sleep. She will also be mentally disturbed. She will wash her hands again and again, and she will speak the same words which have been spoken by Macbeth, that all the perfumes of Arabian Sea will not sweeten this little hand. So what here Macbeth says, that all the water of all the oceans of the world will not wash away his hands, or the blood stain of his hands. In the same way, Lady Macbeth speaks that all the perfumes of the Arabian Sea will not sweeten this little hand. But when in Act 5, Scene 1, when she walks in dream, or she walks in sleep again and again, and becomes seriously sick, and this will torture for her, and then she will be mad, and later on we will find that she will die. So this is the important thing, or this is the best example of dramatic irony we must note here. But this will be clear to us or the readers in the ahead in Act 5, Scene 1, that is the sleepwalking scene, which is known as sleepwalking scene. I think this dialogue is very much clear to you, or this scene is very much clear to you, and you have been able to understand the story up to now and the detailed meaning of the important passages from Macbeth. So I hope that you will enjoy it and will be able to answer your questions and will be able to understand the play very very seriously and very as well as very easily for your examination point of view also. Thank you very much. We will meet again in the next series, that is of the explanations from Lady Macbeth. Thank you very much.